Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Seattle Mariners and the Cleveland Guardians. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Saturday, everyone. On the thumb, on the left, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and on the right, Cleveland Guardians' very own Jose Ramirez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, J.P. Crawford. Batting second in center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, DHing for the Mariners, it is the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting seventh, playing right field, it is Luke Raley. Batting eighth, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, it's the phenom, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners, our top dog besides Bryce Miller as of late, 6-4 record, ERA of 3.29. It is Walter. It is Logan Gilbert. American League Player of the Week. Played very well as of late, and it's nice to be able to see Logan go from being 5th out of 6 to top 2 right at the top for the Mariners again, and it shows how deep we really are with our pitching staff. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Cleveland Guardians. Leading off for the Guardians in left field, Steven Kwan. Batting second at second base, Travis Bazana. Batting third, playing shortstop for Cleveland, Brian Rocchio. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman Kyle Manzardo. Batting fifth, playing right field, Khalil Watson. Batting sixth, DHing for the Guardians, Cooper Ingle. Batting seventh, playing third base, Gabriel Arias. Batting eighth, catching today for the Guardians, Patrick Bailey. And batting ninth, playing center field, Petey Halpin. And on the mound for the Guardians with a 3-6 record, ERA of 4.48, it is Slade Saccone. Right ends up. Let's go, M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. So we ended up making a lineup change yesterday, and we had Randy Arozarena lead off. It worked. They decided to throw JP back at the leadoff spot, and I'm okay with that. We also see Dominic Canzone in the 3-hole, the highest that he has ever batted in his Mariner career. I like the move, considering he has been a pretty good hitter, for us throughout this whole year in 2026. And they actually moved Cal Raleigh to the lowest he's ever been in the 6-hole. And I like it, because Cal really hasn't been that great. He's been injury prone this year. He's been overly aggressive, and maybe having him bat a little later in the lineup can give them a little bit of pop and a little bit of juice. So you get J.P. Crawford, the most patient hitter on the Mariners, leading off. You got Julio Rodriguez. You want to make sure he gets 4 or 5 at-bats. You got Dominic Canzone, who's been fantastic in the top 3. Middle of the order looks sexy as well. Randy Arozarena. Josh Nails in the 5, Cal in the 6, which I think is perfect until he ends up getting back into full swing. And then once Cal, is back to Cal Raleigh, then you can move him, in the 2 or the 3. But for now, I like the move, even if it's only for one game. And then at the bottom of the order, it's sexy as can be. You got Luke Raley, Cole Young, and Colt Emerson. I mean, this starting lineup is fantastic, and really the only piece that we're missing is Brandon Donovan leading off instead of JP Crawford. But again, one of the best lineups that we've seen. And on top of that, we got our hottest pitcher on the mound, not named Bryce Miller, in Logan Gilbert. And considering, he used to be maybe the second worst, pitcher, started off really, not the way that we anticipated, especially, at that opening day loss against the Guardians. Started off 0-2. It wasn't really looking too good. And Gilbert was probably 5th out of 6 pitchers. And really the only pitcher that maybe he was better than a few weeks back was maybe Luis Castillo. But a lot has changed in the last few weeks. And, with Bryce Miller and Emerson Hancock, still pitching pretty well, but hitting a little bit of a wall, it definitely has given an opportunity for Logan Gilbert to take the reins as our number 1 or number 2 guy. And again, Bryce Miller has been great. He's got the lowest ERA, but number 2 is Logan Gilbert, and hopefully he can pitch a solid outing here today. First pitch into JP Crawford from Ciccone with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. And we were supposed to do a piggyback today, but they decided to just nix it and let Logan be Logan, which is great. And then we got Emerson Hancock pitching tomorrow, which was going to be the second half of the piggyback. So I like the idea of letting our hottest pitcher at the moment pitch the, relatively 6, 7, 8 innings, and then see what happens from there. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes from Ciccone to Crawford. 2-0 pitch, and JP fouls that one off with a laser towards first. Cutter, 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Guardians. Hawks in the building. What's good? Julie, all day. Robert, I see you. Daniel, how are you? I appreciate that. And again, I always try to make sure, that I get photos, of her with the nail trim and the body wash. And, it just makes my heart feel good. Anytime that she's happy, it makes me happy. And again, a very beautiful, happy pup, as you can see on socials. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ciccone to JP Crawford. Rebecca in the building. What's good? Bricks and Joysticks in the building. What's good? All day is chilling there. What, in Nebraska on the beach? I see you. And definitely a game that is winnable here. 2-1 pitch. Little hard hit ball towards first base. Toe tap on the bag. And that is 1 away. Down goes JP Crawford for out number 1 there. Kyle Manzardo at first base. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder, one of the studs from last night, Julio Rodriguez, and batting in the 3-hole, DHing Dominic Canzone. And again, they should have done this weeks ago. You want to make sure you're having your hottest hitters, at the top of the order. And again, I know Cal Raleigh is a big name, and we know he had a fantastic year last season, 60 plus home runs. And, obviously they overworked him, and, he got, banged up and then couldn't really get going with hitting. Obviously the leadership is there, and the defense is there. It's just a matter of time before that bat heats up. But I like the idea of sliding him in lower in the lineup. And hopefully it's not just for today. Hopefully it's something that they do until, Cal gets up to speed. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. And I know maybe for Cal, he's not necessarily too much with the ego and whatnot, because obviously some guys, having to go from like the 1 to the 9, like JP had to earlier, last season, and, had to make that transition. Could be a little bit of a gut punch, but again, it's all about winning, and you have to be a team player. And sometimes you got to go a little bit lower in the lineup, and, it's better than getting benched. And again, we got a great lineup, and I like our chances here today. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Mariners and Guardians. And I like that we're not doing the piggyback, so that way we can have Hancock tomorrow, and we are going to be going against another righty. So if Hancock can get back on track and we can win today, we might be able to get a sweep tomorrow. Throw to first. And Julio hustling, but just not in time. Great throw there at third. And that is 2 up and 2 down. Gabriel Arias making that play at third. Next up is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. On deck is Randy Arosarena. Love seeing Dom batting this high in the order. And honestly, you could have Dom batting in the 2 or the 3 would probably be the most ideal. And anytime you can have guys batting, in the 1, 2, or 3, there's a chance that you might get 5 at-bats rather than 4, and that could end up being the difference. And you want your best hitters there. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ciccone to Dominic Canzone. But I love the lineup. No weaknesses in the lineup whatsoever. No Rob Ref Snyders. So, again, we feel pretty good here tonight. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Cutter fooling Dominic Canzone. 85 miles an hour there by Slade Ciccone. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 out. 0-0 here early. Mariners and Guardians. Let's go. See if we can get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we want Logan Gilbert to give up 2 runs or less, preferably 1 or 0. And if we can get those kind of numbers, we should have a very good chance of getting the job done here today. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Did he go around? No, he did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. And normally, we're getting on Dan Wilson for terrible lineups and making the wrong decision. But the last 2 days, putting Randy as the leadoff hitter, good decision. Now moving JP to lead off, Dom higher in the lineup for the first time, Cal sliding down, Logan not piggybacking with Hancock. So again, we definitely have been getting on Wilson lately, but in the last 2 days, he has made good decisions. And Canzone with a hard hit ball into left, off the wall. Run, Dom, run! You might be able to get a triple, but he doesn't test it, and that's a stand-up double for Dominic Canzone. And see, those are the type of things that we need, and having Dom higher in the lineup just makes sense. He's been the most consistent hitter, on the team besides Randy Arosarena, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, and the Italian Stallion really finding a role. And this has been the best DH player the Mariners have had since I say it, Edgar Martinez. I mean, this guy has been fantastic. Next up, in the 4-hole, left fielder Randy Arosarena. On deck is Josh Naylor. And sometimes you got to be able to kind of switch up the lineup. And we know Dan is usually pretty stubborn, with the lineups and whatnot. But again, I really like the decision-making the last 2 days. Hopefully that'll be a trend for us moving forward. William in the building. What's good? Sean in the building. Rebecca and Joe in the building. Tridents up. Let's go M's. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. And I wouldn't even mind, some of these guys bunting, but again, we're not going to bunt with 2 outs, obviously, in this particular situation, but, would like to see a few bunts drop down today. 0-2 pitch, and Randy pops up. Should be a routine play. And Watson is there, and that is out number 3. We leave 1 runner stranded there, Dominic Canzone, but at least a good sign that Dom had a deep hit off the wall, close to a home run in his first at-bat, and hopefully that trend will continue. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And he just finished running a overnight marathon and 100 miles that Brooks ran, with no sleep, just taking a few breaks in between, probably 10 to 12 straight hours of running. Just an inspiration, for someone to be able to have a passion for music and now the passion for fitness. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats. You are an inspiration. Leading off for the Guardians in left field, Stephen Kwan. Batting second at second base, Travis Bazana. And batting third, shortstop, Brian Rocchio. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 6-4 record, 3.29 ERA, American League Pitcher of the Week, it is Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. And definitely the hottest pitcher on the team. Again, Bryce has got the lowest ERA, but if we're talking about who's been pitching the best, within the last couple weeks, it's this guy right here, Logan Gilbert. And hopefully that'll continue here today. 49 subs to go to 24,400. gained a sub during the commercial break. Thank you so much. Shout out to all of our new subs, our female audience, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, and beyond. And we're at 37 likes, 63 to go. First pitch there to Stephen Kwan is a ball, 1-0 count. Let's go, Logan. 1-0 pitch, and Kwan pops it up into left field and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Logan Gilbert to Stephen Kwan, and I'm really proud of Logan, because again, earlier in the year, he was one of the worst, with Luis Castillo, and now he's our best. Right there with Bryce Miller. So again, the season is long, and again, it shows really how deep we are. We have a top 6, starting pitching staff. We're top 6 in the bullpen, even with all the injuries with Brash and Cooper Criswell and no Carlos Vargas all year long. We're still top 6 in both categories, which is fantastic, and we wouldn't expect any less. 2-1 pitch popped up. Shallow left field. Randy is there, and that is 1 away. Good job there by Randy Arosarena. Kwan flying out, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Down goes Stephen Kwan. Next up in the 2-hole, second baseman Travis Bazana. On deck in the 3-hole, shortstop Brian Rocchio. And we are going to be going to righty tomorrow. And Emerson Hancock won't have to worry about piggybacking off Logan Gilbert, which I think was a great move. And again, sometimes you got to pivot and make a change. And, Dan Wilson is being as stubborn as he is. I really like the decision-making in the last 2 days. Moving guys up in the order, moving guys down, and just scrapping. And they're not going to scrap necessarily the piggyback from now until the 4th of July or, to the All-Star break. They may start it up again, but again, I like the move so far here tonight. First pitch from Bazana, fouls it off. Out of play, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Bazana. 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 1-1 pitch. Slider, high and inside, paints the corner beautifully. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bazana. And I also like the fact that Cal Raleigh is back as a catcher, calling games, instead of the pitchers calling the pitches with Pareda and Garver. It makes a huge difference, when you can just pitch and trust Cal to, get the right ones called. Pitch popped up. JP is there at third, and that is 2 up and 2 down. Great start here for Logan Gilbert. Next up in the 3-hole, shortstop Brian Rocchio. On deck is Kyle Manzardo. Looks like they had a conversation with Dom in the dugout. Hopefully he's okay. But we'll find out if he ends up returning after this inning or not. Hopefully he didn't tweak anything. First pitch in there for a strike right down the middle to Brian Rocchio, 0-1 count. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Guardians. And a really good, satisfying win yesterday. Mooney, finishing it off. And I like our chances here today as well as tomorrow. Because if we would have went with the piggyback with Gilbert and Hancock today, that would mean that the struggling George Kirby, I believe, would be pitching tomorrow. And I don't think we want that, at least at the moment. If you got Hancock there, push him till tomorrow, and that's what they did. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Brian Rocchio. 1-1 pitch, change up high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Rocchio. Let him know all day. 2-1 pitch, line drive to Josh Naylor. Look at the defense. Naylor has just been money on his defense at first base in the last 2 days. Great job there by Naylor. Down goes Rocchio. And that is a very quick 1-2-3 inning. And that's exactly what we want to see based off our hottest pitcher at the moment, Logan Gilbert. American League Player of the Week, and we haven't had too many of those, with our pitching staff. Even though we know we're really talented, things have gone up and down, peaks and valleys, some good, some bad. But again, great to be able to see Logan go from being maybe second worst, 5 out of 6, and now all the way at the top, number 1 or number 2 with Bryce Miller. Great sign to see moving forward. Rocchio lines out to first to Josh Naylor, and let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the second, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting second in the 6th hole, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Really like this move. And batting third in the 7th hole, right fielder, Luke Raley. Try dance up, let's go M's. 48 subs to go, do 24,400. We hit 6.1 million views a few weeks back and got our single highest donation, $1,500 from Odin's son as well. Shout out to Odin. Gained another sub during the commercial break. Shout out to our female audience as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 100. We're halfway there. We're at 48. Great start. 52 to go. Chuck in the building. How are you? 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. So every stream we will dedicate it to one of my favorites of all time, Rick Riz. We love you. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch from Ciccone to Naylor, 0-1 count. And Hoppy ended up getting sent to AAA, our worst option in the bullpen. And they're going to bring Simpson back up to the team. I don't know how long, that will be for. But again, it gives us, a righty for a lefty. And we'll see how it ends up playing out. And hopefully Hoppy will get some more experience in AAA. And maybe when the next time that we call him up, he'll be a little bit better. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Naylor. Let's go, Josh. 0-2 pitch, and a very ugly swing there on a pitch that went into the dirt. Ciccone fooling Naylor. Be patient, Naylor. And there's been a few guys, that have been extremely impatient. Julio, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Josh Naylor. And again, if we can get these guys to be a little bit more like JP and Dom, think about how many more things could happen for this team. We'll see if Luke Raley, Cole Young, and Cole Emerson can work the count as well. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. First pitch, swings at it, little slow dribbler. Another guy that's been overly aggressive, still not learning, and that is 2 away. And again, if you're going to be overly aggressive, maybe from back in the day, looking for that first pitch strike right down the middle, that's fine. But pitchers aren't necessarily throwing down the middle to get ahead 0-1 count all the time anymore. If you've been watching baseball, a lot of times that first pitch is garbage and they're trying to bait you. And then if you end up fouling off the second pitch, you're in an 0-2 count, and then you're screwed usually with the strikeout. But if you end up swinging on that first pitch, seems like more times than not for the Mariner hitters lately in our little mini slump, it's been a pop-up or a ground out, and that's a wasted at-bat for Cal Raleigh. Hopefully it'll be better. Next up is Luke Raley. First pitch takes a strike low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, line drive to first, toe tap on the bag, and a very quick inning for the Mariner batters there, and that is out number 3. And I don't mind, at some point in the game, if you're going to swing at the first 2 pitches, so be it. These guys are professionals. But again, if you've been doing that, over and over and over again, and you haven't been able to get a hit, well, logically, thinking and speaking, you would think, okay, well, maybe I need to, take a step back and, try to get to pitch 4, pitch 5, and, maybe better things can happen. But, we'll see where it goes. I would like to see them be a little bit more like JP and Dom, but we will see. All right, let's go and see who's up next here as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Next up for the Guardians in the 4-hole, first baseman Kyle Manzardo. Batting second in the 5-hole, right fielder Khalil Watson. And batting third in the 6-hole, DHing Cooper Ingle. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 47 subs to go to 24,400. Let's see where we're at on the likes. 135 in the room. And we're at 52, 48 to go. I did see that. I did end up watching the replay and watching that. That was crazy. Definitely going to be some suspensions there. And usually we don't have any fights, on the Mariners that often, or in our farm system. And that's one of the first fights that we've had for the Tacoma Rainiers in years. All right, let's go, Logan. Let's keep it going. Versus left-handed hitters, he's number 2. Dylan Cease and Jacob Mizorowski are the only ones that are pitching better against lefties. That's really saying something. And for Miz to be able to hit, 105.5 is fucking insane. I hope he doesn't, have Tommy John or, his arm comes out of the socket. But again, anyone that can pitch over 100 is amazing. And then when you can pitch 101, 102, you're on a whole nother level. And then when you go 102 and up, 103 to 105, it's unheard of. But Mizorowski is doing it. 1-0 pitch popped up and out of play there by Manzardo. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Manzardo. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One pitch. Fouled off right down the middle by Manzardo towards first and out of play. 6-4 record, ERA of 3.29. American League Pitcher of the Week, Logan Gilbert. And in the box, first baseman in the 4-hole, Kyle Manzardo. On deck is Khalil Watson. 1-2 pitch to Manzardo. Big swing and a miss. Let's go. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert. Way to get the punch out, Logan. We love you. Next up for Logan Gilbert in the 5-hole, right fielder Khalil Watson. On deck is Cooper Ingle. First pitch, line drive. Cole Young is there. Nice soft throw to Josh Naylor. And that's as smooth can be. That is 2 up and 2 down. Great job there by Cole Clutch Young. Great to be able to have someone you can trust at second base as well as at shortstop with his buddy, Colt Emerson. Great job. Next up in the 6-hole, DHing Cooper Ingle. And on deck in the 7-hole, third baseman Gabriel Arias. First pitch, foul behind the plate. 0-1 count. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 here early with nobody on and 2 outs. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Cooper Ingle in the box. Oh, 1 pitch, fouls it behind the plate. Slider 89 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Ingle. Go, Logan. 0-2 pitch, low and away. And I do believe since Cal is back, I think all our pitchers are going to do tremendously better. Not to say that, Pareda and Garver did their best while Cal was hurt. But Cal calling a game is going to be much better than Pareda or Garver. And, and if they decide to have the pitchers call the game, that's just more pressure. Little dribbler towards third and foul. I mean, you don't want the pitchers to call their pitches throughout the game. You just want them to be able to trust the catcher, pitch, not have something extra to worry about. And then obviously, that's less stress on them and they can just do their thing. And we definitely have seen kind of an uptick on some of the guys since Cal has been back. Still waiting on that bat to get going. And it really, I think it's not necessarily just mechanics, with Cal. Just let the pitches come to you and don't be swinging at the first two pitches and getting out with pop-ups and ground balls. I know you want a homer, but, again, a single and a double is great. You don't need to try to homer on every swing. And that goes for about half of the roster. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and another punch out. Down goes Engel, and I like that. Logan Gilbert wheeling and dealing. No hitter so far for the American League Pitcher of the Week. And Logan Gilbert, I like it. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, key stat, no walks, 2 Ks, 22 pitches, 15 strikes. ERA is 3.22. And if he can continue to pitch like this, he's going to have his ERA in the 2s, and that is going to be fantastic. Great job, Logan Gilbert. Let's go to the top of the 3rd inning, and let's start to rally here and take a lead. Leading off for the Mariners in the 8-hole, second baseman, one of my favorites, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second in the 9-hole, the Ohio native, shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson, another one of my favorites. And batting third, the most patient player on the team. He definitely has earned his right to come back to this team next year. And again, let's see if this bat can come alive. Third baseman, J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. I mean, obviously Castillo can leave. Rob Refsnyder can leave. Connor Joe can leave. But J.P. Crawford, we will welcome you back with open arms. Especially with all the injuries. We don't know how Brendan Donovan will look, not only the rest of this year or next year. And you want to make sure you have a good insurance policy. And JP can play multiple positions. He can play second. He can play short. He can play third. He could DH. Definitely a valuable piece to have on the roster. And he's a fan favorite as well. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 46 subs to go to 24,400. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And we're at 60 likes, 40 to go. And I ended up watching WWE Night of Champions. It's the first WWE action I've watched in months. And it actually was a pretty good PLE this morning in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn winning the title for the very first time, which was awesome to see. And overall, it was a pretty entertaining PLE. Things are a little bit different, obviously, in this Triple H era. But we may end up doing some WWE next season and next year after, obviously, we go through the rest of 2026. First pitch from Ciccone to Cole Young, high and away. Paints that corner for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, and another strike called. And call is confirmed with the ABS. Cutter 89 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. It didn't really look like he went that far around, but it looks like the check swing was enough. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Slade Ciccone, 3-6 record, ERA of 4.48. So we should be able to rough him up at some point, you would hope. 1-2 pitch to Cole Young, low and away. Good at bat here for Cole. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Young. On deck is Colt Emerson. And I don't think I've ever been this excited for 2 young guns on the Mariners ever. Should be starters for this team for the next 5, 10, 15 years, depending on how long they're going to stay with this ball club. Little dribbler up the middle, throw to first, and good hustle by Young, but just not in time at first base, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners in his hometown, hit a home run in game 1, just like Cole Young did when we played the Pirates. Yesterday, one of the heroes, Colt Emerson, 2 walks and a home run. Let's see if Colt can bring that bat here today. First pitch, and Emerson with a little slow dribbler to first. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Work those at-bats. Keep that pitch count up for Ciccone. Don't bail him out. We already have plenty of guys that are overly aggressive, and Julio, Randy, Naylor, Cal Raleigh. We don't need Rayleigh, Young, and Emerson to join that group. We got JP and Dominic Canzone patient, but if we could just get everybody on their level, good things would happen. We probably would be able to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits a lot faster than we have been able to lately. Where we've been kind of stuck, with 1 to 3 runs for the last 10 to 12 games. First pitch takes a strike, looking low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, curveball missing there by Ciccone. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, JP. 1-1 pitch from Ciccone, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Plus, if you work the count, you have a better chance of getting hit by a pitch, or getting walked. And obviously, we don't want too many guys getting hit, because if they get hit, they could get hurt. But, if it's just a simple getting, plunked on the leg and you're okay, we need base runners. And a little line drive up to second base or to first, and that is 3 up and 3 down. 15 pitches for 6 outs is unacceptable. We should have 15 pitches for 2 batters, not 6 batters. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up for the Guardians in the 7-hole, 3rd baseman Gabriel Arias. Batting second in the 8-hole, catcher Patrick Bailey. And batting 3rd in the 9-hole, center fielder Petey Halpin. Trident's up, let's go M's. Mariners have 1 hit, the Guardians have none. And right now, 2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 22 pitches, 15 strikes, 3.22 ERA. And Slade Ciccone, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 K, 34 pitches, 24 strikes, with a 4.33 ERA for Ciccone. And we want to get Ciccone out of the game, sooner than later. And again, getting 15 pitches and getting 6 outs is unacceptable. We have to be able to get those pitch counts up. We already have half of the lineup being overly aggressive. The last thing that we need is to have everyone, being overly aggressive. And again, we're not very good in 1-run games either. So we'll see where it goes. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd, 0-0, Mariners and Guardians. Trident's up, let's go M's. 46 subs to go to 24,400. So looking for our first dono on our dono train. Let's see how close we are to our 100 like goal here so far as we go to the bottom of the 3rd with a 0-0 tie. Okay, we're at 65. We're almost there. $65 likes, 35 more to 100. First pitch, little dribbler up the middle that gets past Colt Emerson and Cole Young there, and Arias with a single. The Guardians get their first hit of the day. Nice hit there by Gabriel. Next up in the 8-hole, catcher Patrick Bailey. On deck is Petey Halpin, and hopefully we get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. Unless Logan is good enough to strike out 3 in a row, which he possibly could. And let's see what we get here with Patrick Bailey. First pitch on the corner for a strike. Good slider there by Logan Gilbert on the first pitch. 0-1 count. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Bottom of the third inning, runner at first, Gabriel Arias with the single up the middle moments ago with no outs. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. Nasty pitch there by Logan. No balls and 2 strikes to Patrick Bailey, the former Giant catcher. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, painting the corner beautifully. 0-2 pitch, and a little dribbler up the middle towards first, and foul. Slider 87 miles an hour. Bottom of the third inning, runner at first with no outs. 0-0 here between the Mariners and the Guardians. We won game 1 yesterday, and it felt good considering how things went in that Pittsburgh series, winning 3-1. And if we can win today, we got a righty on the mound tomorrow going against us, and we'll have Emerson Hancock pitching instead of having him piggyback later today. Good decision by Dan Wilson, as well as, moving Cal in the lineup, lower in the lineup, and, putting Canzone higher. So, and putting Randy as leadoff hitter yesterday, that was smart, and again, Dan hasn't really made a whole lot of smart decisions this season, but the last 2 days he's been on point. Pitch is high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Patrick Bailey. 1-2 pitch, Cal, runner goes, throw to second. Safe. Can we get a replay? Up there says safe, though, but the throw was pretty close, and the tag looked pretty close there. Let's see if we challenge or not. Let's see if Gabriel got in there in time or not. Ball in the field was upheld. And that is strike 3 looking. Down he goes. Ball is overturned. Runner at second, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Patrick Bailey. We didn't really see a whole lot of ABS challenges yesterday. We'll see how many we get today. Pitch fouled off right down the middle there with a splitter, 82 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bailey. Come on, Logan. Three-two pitch. Nope. Steps off the mound, takes a look back at Gabriel Arias. And we want to make sure we keep him at second base, and hopefully we can keep the game at 0-0. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Patrick Bailey in the box. 3-2 pitch, little dribbler towards first, and foul. Come on, Logan. Three-two pitch. Foul back behind the plate. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Patrick Bailey. Yeah, I mean, he went off the bag, and whatnot, but, young player, he'll learn. Again, obviously, especially these guys like, Colt being a rookie and Young being in his second season, they'll get better and better. Pitch foul back behind the plate again. .11 pitch at bat here. Runner at second with no outs. Three-two pitch. And a little blooper into shallow center. Julio is there. And a strong throw to third. I wish Randy would do that. And right there to J.P. Crawford. And then finally we get our first out. 4th of July, bucket hat giveaway. I'll be getting one. That'll be the only game that I'll be going to all season. Can't wait. Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners. And great job there by Julio Rodriguez. Next up in the 9 hole, center fielder Petey Halpin with a runner at second and 1 out. And we got a mound visit with Cal Raleigh. And we got to make sure we get on the same page with Cal and Logan. And I like the, little break here to be able to, discuss things and, to kind of go over strategy on how to be able to get out of this inning with still the game being at 0-0. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. All right, Logan getting settled back in after the conversation there with Cal Raleigh. Hopefully they're going to be on the same page here. Let's go, Logan. Our hottest pitcher on the team right now besides Bryce Miller. First pitch is high and away, taking a strike to Petey Halpin, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 3rd inning, runner at second, Gabriel Arias with 1 out. And considering Logan was probably our second worst starter out of 6, maybe only better than Luis Castillo a few weeks ago, now he's all the way at the top, right, with Bryce Miller. So, a lot of guys can have some good movement. Obviously, George Kirby and Brian Wu have been a little bit of a disappointment, this season, just to say the least. Hancock overall has been a little bit better than expected. And obviously we know Luis Castillo normally is terrible, but was pretty damn good yesterday. If he didn't pitch as well as he did yesterday, we don't win that game. So good to see Luis getting a little bit better too as our weak link. And Halpin pops up. Young is there, and that is 2 away. Good defense there by the Mariners. Down goes Petey Halpin, and that is 2 away. Next up, back at the top of the order, left fielder Stephen Kwan, the Oregon State Beaver alum. Same thing with his teammate and batter up next on deck, Beaver alum Travis Bazana. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Logan. And steps off the mound. Oh, that's good. Knees getting dislocated or legs being broken. Yeah, not ideal. Prayers up for the kiddos. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike on the corner, high and away. You haven't really missed too much. Each team only has 1 hit right now apiece. Ciccone and Gilbert are in a pitcher's duel, but the game should open up, and whoever's bullpen will be better late should end up winning the game just like yesterday. 1-1 pitch, a little dribbler up the middle. Young is there, throw to first, and that is out number 3, and we leave the runner stranded, and that's exactly what we want. Now it's time to get on the board with a home run or back-to-back hits to get an RBI. Let's go, Seattle Mariners. Try dance up. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 center fielder, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting second in the 3-hole, 1-for-1, just missed a home run and got a stand-up double in his first at-bat. The Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone, the highest he's ever batted in the lineup in his career here with Seattle, and I like where he's at in the 3-hole. It suits him. And batting third in the inning in the 4-hole, 0-for-1 left fielder, Randy Arozarena. End of the 3rd inning, 0-0, Mariners and Guardians. 46 subs to go to 24,400. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's look to see how many likes we're at, how close we are to 100 as we approach the top of the 4th inning. 169 in the room. And we're at 76. We're almost there. $24 people out of 171 to hit that like button. We will be at 100. Slade Ciccone, 3-6 record, ERA of 4.48 on the mound. And Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 1 so far. Let's see if we can get a hit here out of Julio Rodriguez. And again, if we could get our batters to be a little bit more patient, we'd be able to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits a little bit more often. Hard hit ball there by Julio, all the way back to the wall. And is Julio going to go for 2? No, can't get there. Smart decision, only taking the single. But again, just missing a home run by a little bit, like Dominic Canzone, but a hard hit ball all the way to the wall. And again, for some guys, they're going to be able to connect, on that first pitch like Julio did. But again, for a majority of our batters, it hasn't really worked out lately. But Julio with a deep hit ball, missing a home run by maybe 5 feet, really high up. That wall is very high in left field, but a great single there for Julio. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Let's see if Dom can get another hit. And again, let's bring Julio home. Great job there by J-Rod, getting a hit in his second at-bat, starting the rally. And let's see if the Italian Stallion can knock him in with a home run or an RBI. 1-0 pitch, a little line drive towards second. Oh, he dropped it. Run, Dom. And Dom is out at first, even with the drop. But Julio at second is safe, and that is 1 away. Moving the runner over, that's exactly what we want. Next up is Randy Arozarena. On deck is Josh Naylor. Barbie in the building. What's good? First pitch to Arozarena, high and inside. 1-0 count. Yeah, they're in Oregon right now. I think they're going to have a game in like Eugene or, in this general Oregon area and whatnot. So, I imagine they're moving around all over the country and whatnot. I haven't seen them before, but, I definitely would go, to see them if it was relatively close, as long as I'm not working, of course. But obviously the Mariners take priority. And we're having a big torrential downpour here for a majority of Oregon and Washington. And we got a lot of rain coming down, and it has been coming down for the last 2 to 3 hours. So second walk with Paisley, we got soaked, but it was fun being out there. 1-1 pitch, and Arozarena pops up. Manzardo there in foul territory off first, and that is 2 away. All right, let's see if Naylor can get a home run or an RBI, but the only way that's going to happen is if Naylor can get to pitch 3, 4, or 5 in most at-bats. And lately he's been, getting out in the first 2 pitches. And again, it sometimes will work, for a pitch that you swing at right down the middle and then you end up smoking it like Julio did. But for a majority of our batters, swinging at the first 2 pitches isn't necessarily ideal. And as you see, the first pitch by Ciccone, nowhere near the strike zone, low and into the dirt, trying to bait Naylor, and luckily Naylor does not swing, thankfully. 1-0 count. Let's see if Naylor can find a way to, and again, you can't draw a walk, if you're swinging at the first 2 pitches and going for the moon. You want to get the pitch count up. You want to be able to try to draw a walk. You want to be able to get a good favorable count, instead of getting yourself into 0-2 counts or being out in the first 2 pitches and bailing out a pitcher that has no reason to be bailed out. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And this is a much better at-bat here for Josh Naylor, taking the first 2 pitches. What do you know? 2 balls and no strikes to Josh Naylor. 2-0 pitch, and a little dribbler towards third. Throw to first, and down goes Naylor, and that is out number 3. Mariners with 2 hits, Cleveland with 1. It's been a pitcher's duel so far, and we just may have to wait until the pitchers exit, and whoever's bullpen is better may end up winning this game 1-0, 2-1, or 3-2. Would still love for us to be able to get to 5, but the only way that's going to happen, it feels like, is if we end up getting a 2-run jack or a 3-run bomb to help us in that category. And home runs have been far and few between lately. All right, let's see who's up next in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Cleveland Guardians. Next up in the 2-hole, 0 for 1, second baseman Travis Bazzana. Batting second in the 3-hole, shortstop Brian Rocchio. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman Kyle Manzardo. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Just ran a marathon yesterday and finished this morning. Ran 100 miles. This guy, again, both of us were close to 300 pounds, a few years back. And to see him dedicate his life to music and fitness is such a inspiring feat. And him even doing things that I know he didn't believe that he could do. And I talked to him right after the race ended this morning and said it was the hardest thing that he's ever done in his life. And I'm so proud of him. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats, the best beats on YouTube. A fitness guru in the making. 46 subs to go to 24,400. Still waiting on our first dono on our dono train. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. And we're at 86 likes. If we can get 14 people to hit the like button, we'll be at 100. We have 14 people that can do us a solid. And if we get 14 people out of 184, we'll be at 100 and on our way. All right, let's go, Logan. Let's continue our dominance here. He's got a one-hitter, and Cal is a big part of it too. First pitch, high and inside, right on the line, missing the strike zone, maybe by an inch, or maybe not even that. 1-0 count. Gilbert on the mound, Travis Bazzana, the Oregon State Beaver alum, in the box. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with a slider low and away, 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Bazzana. I love it. Moving Dom up should have been done, weeks ago, months ago, and sliding Cal down in the lineup, until he actually starts hitting and is deserving of a top, 3 in the rotation in the lineup hitter is perfect. So that way you got Randy and Naylor and Cal all together. And then we got Rayleigh, Cole Young, and Emerson at the bottom, which I love. And then having, the guys that are most productive, JP, Julio, and Dom at the top. It's perfect. And I don't know if they're going to use it just for this game, or, if it's going to be from here on out, depending on if we have righties or lefties. Obviously, Dom and Luke typically aren't starting when we go against left-handed pitching, so I get that. But again, when we go against right-handed pitching, having Dom in the first 3 spots is perfect. Considering he's a better hitter than Cal Raleigh this year. 1-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball right up the middle. And that lands right in front of Julio Rodriguez, and a single there from Travis Bazzana. Hopefully we get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout to bail him out. Next up is Brian Rocchio. On deck is Kyle Manzardo. Let's go, Logan. American League Player of the Week, Pitcher of the Week. And let's see if we can keep that momentum going. Throw to first and safe. Gilbert on the mound. Rocchio in the box. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch to Rocchio. Fouls it off. Great souvenir for that fan out there. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and inside. No balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Rocchio. Runner at first with no outs. Bottom of the 4th, we're at 0. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Rocchio. Let's go, Logan. It's one of the lowest lineups Cal, has been in, but again, hasn't really been the greatest hitter. Has been a little impatient in the box, but I do love his leadership, on the field, and having him as our starting catcher really does help this team. Line drive, and Julio with a diving catch. Wow. And taking a double away there from Rocchio. Julio sliding down on his knee and getting that ball. Great job by Julio Rodriguez, saving a double and saving a run being scored for sure. Great job there by Julio Rodriguez. Just imagine if he dives and it goes behind him. That probably ends up being an RBI triple there for Rocchio. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. And let's see if we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play, unless Gilbert is able to strike out back-to-back batters. We'll take pop-ups and ground balls as well. First pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle, 0-1 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Great job by Julio. Great job by Logan Gilbert. And again, 2 hits apiece. It's been pretty slim pickings. We should have more on Ciccone at this point. But again, half of the lineup is very impatient and they're overly aggressive, and it shows. If we could have everyone be like JP and Dom for the most part, where they're getting to pitch 4, 5, 6, sometimes even pitch 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not only does it get the pitch count up on the opponent, Ciccone, but then you have a better chance of getting walked and finally having that perfect pitch down the middle that you're looking for, instead of just assuming that it's going to be right down the middle on pitch 1 and pitch 2, and then popping up and grounding out, or getting into an 0-2 count and striking out. That doesn't help the Mariners one bit. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Again, 4-seam fastball right down the middle, 95 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Manzardo. Let's go, Logan. Number 5 out of number 6, as far as the rotation for a majority of the year, and now he's all the way at the top, number 1 or number 2 with Bryce Miller. 0-2 pitch, little line drive, gets past Cole Young, and Bazana's going to third, and safe. And now we have runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. We desperately need a double play, or strike out in a pop-up, strike out in a ground ball. We got to keep that runner stranded, Bazana at third. Next up is Khalil Watson. On deck is Cooper Ingle. Come on, Logan. Put that behind you. 3 hits for the Guardians, 2 for the Mariners so far. Definitely been a pitcher's duel. And a hard hit ball into deep right field. And it's fair. Fuck. And that's going to bring in how many? RBI double there, and now we're down 1-0. And again, Mariner pitchers usually have been pretty damn good. Usually they have 1 inning where they kind of struggle, and unfortunate that Watson got a hold of that there in right field. No play for Luke Raley whatsoever, and then now we just have to limit the damage and hope that those other runners at second and third don't score. We don't want to be down 3-0. Next up is Cooper Ingle. We could really use a double play here. But plenty of time for us to come back. Again, it's 0-0. It's a pitcher's duel. Now it's 1-0. Now we need to keep it 1-0. First pitch fouled off towards first, out of play. And obviously, if we aren't able to get these last few outs, it could be 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. And again, we want to prevent that from happening if we can. Bottom of the 4th, runners at second and third with 1 out. Keep them there. 0-1 pitch. And on the ground, another base hit. Fuck. And that's going to bring in another run. And another run's coming home. Get him. Fuck. 2 runs come home. And just like that, Logan having a meltdown. 3-0 Guardians. And anytime your team, gets back-to-back hits, kind of hard, even if it's not home runs. And Guardians just figuring him out right here. And, Young has been pretty close on a few of those balls, but just couldn't get it. And this one stings, for that second runner to come home and a throw not sharp enough to get to Cal in time. Not ideal. 3-0 Guardians, but that doesn't mean that we can't come back. The most that we can come back from is 5. And again, the most that you want Logan to give up is 3. And, he's been very, very good, within the last few weeks, but he's getting roughed up in this inning. 5 hits total given up and 3 runs scored here in the bottom of the 4th. And that's baseball. Now we just got to be able to, do one of our own. And we definitely are going to need to homer at least once or twice if we have any chance of winning today. I don't think we have enough, patience to get, 12 hits and no home runs and come back and win this game 4-3 or 5-4. It's just not going to happen. We're going to need, to get a 2-run jack, 3-run bomb, or at least a solo dinger to start a rally at some point in this game. But we may need a couple home runs. First pitch to Gabriel Arias is high and away, 1-0 count. And we need a double play. Let's go. Slow dribbler up the middle to Emerson. Throw to Naylor and get out of this inning, which has already been terrible. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike high and inside on the corner. 1 strike from Gilbert to Arias. Come on, Logan. Settle down and settle in. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gabriel Arias. The only right-handed bat in the lineup. And that's kind of crazy, right? 8 lefties and 1 righty. Not common whatsoever. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert. Already having a rough inning, but getting that punch out. Way to be able to get a little bit of electricity back. And that is 2 away. But we got to get this last batter out. In the 8-hole, catcher, former Giant, Patrick Bailey. And really, this is the most that our starting pitchers typically can give up for us to feel comfortable that we can still come back and win. 3 runs or less. Normally, you want it to be 2 or less. 1 or 0 is preferred, but sometimes all it takes is 1 half inning to have a little bit of a meltdown and the other team gets in a little rhythm and all of a sudden the 0-0 game is 3-0, and that's exactly what's happened. First pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour by Gilbert, 0-1 count. Throw to first and safe. They will. Just got to be patient. If it's not on Ciccone right at the very end of his run, that's usually what we would, typically do. Right as the starting pitcher is about to exit, rough him up for a couple hits and a run or a home run. And then when that next guy comes in the pen, we rough him up. And then all of a sudden we're right back in the game. So, baseball is a tale of 2 halves, starting pitching and then the bullpen. And, all it takes is 1 half inning of bad baseball and you can come back, or take the lead, depending on, how things go. So 1-1 pitch popped up and out of play. I mean, even when we were down yesterday, I think there was probably a lot of fans that didn't think that we would come back and win, even when you're only down 1-0, but we found a way to come back and you just had to be a little bit better in the bullpen than the opponent we were. And we ended up winning 3-1 when we were down 1-0. And, there was not a lot of hits or runs scored in that game. So you just got to be patient. 1-2 pitch, little dribbler up the middle, throw to first. And that is out, number 3. All right, we finally get out of the inning, but not unscathed. And now we need home runs, we need RBIs, we need stolen bags, we need bunts, we need fucking everything. Let's go to the top of the 5th, and we need to get on the board as soon as possible, to kind of stop the bleeding so we don't bleed out. The faster that we can get to 1, and only be down 2 runs, the better chance that we have to come back. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 in the 6-hole. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Work the count. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder, Luke Raley. See if we get a nuke out of Luke. I wouldn't mind him bunting either. And batting third, 0 for 1, second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 46 subs to go to 24,400. And we should be getting close to 100 likes now, halfway through the broadcast. We're at 95. Can we get 5 people to hit the like button and we'll be there? We're at 95 likes. We only need 5 people to hit that like button and we'll be at 100. Let them know all day. All right, Slade Ciccone, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1K, 43 pitches, 29 strikes with a 4.28 ERA. And then Logan Gilbert having the meltdown that last inning, but overall has been good. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 3K, 62 pitches, 47 strikes with a 3.43 ERA. And, you know, he was good for those first couple innings, first 3, but then had the meltdown in the 4th. And we can't have him give up any more runs if we're going to have any chance of winning, because you don't really know how bad or good the bullpen is going to be. And if we're already down 3-0, you know, we can't afford the bullpen to give up 3, you know, because again, we haven't really been able to score more than 3 runs in the last 11 or 12 games. So this is kind of the max that Logan can give up, or any starter for that matter, for us to actually feel that, hey, we can still come back and win. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Slade Ciccone to Big Dumper at Cal Raleigh. Dave in the building, what's good? 1 ball and 1 strike. Takes a strike right down the middle with the curveball, 77 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Big Dumper at Cal Raleigh. 1-2 pitch, line drive. Right to Bazzana, throw to first, and down goes Cal, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 7-hole, right fielder Luke Raley. And on deck in the 8-hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Luke. First pitch is high and away. 1-0 count. Jesse in the building, what's good? Oh, I don't think I really have one single favorite, baseball card. I love the old school stuff, the old school Babe Ruths and the Mickey Mantles, the Joe DiMaggios, the Willie Mazes. I love the old school stuff, the Sandy Koufax, the Don Drysdale era, anything way back from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Obviously, we know in the junk wax era, I love me some Ken Griffey Jr., that 1989 Upper Deck. With Ken Griffey Jr., that's obviously one of the more iconic cards, in that particular day. And, but I don't think I have necessarily just one, that I would maybe stand out, compared to all of the rest. But top of the 5th inning, runner at first with 1 out. First pitch to Cole Young. Inside, 1-0 count. And we got Raley at first, and anytime you can get Raley on by a hit by a pitch, or if he gets walked, or if he gets a single, it definitely, can start a rally. And we know he's got some good speed out there. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ciccone to Young. I don't think Mariner fans are patient at all. A lot of them, let's be honest, some of them are bandwagon, only start really rooting for this team when we have a winning record or when things are going, really, really well. Again, there's going to be hardcore fans, but there's different levels just to any fan base, fanatics that are going to be watching every game beginning to end. You get the fair weather fans, you get the bandwagon fans that only hop on when things are going great and don't watch when we're not, so... and again, this team has more talent than any other team that we've had besides the 2001 team. So, things are much better. I mean, if you go back to prior to 2022, we might have been able to get 10 Ks with all our pitchers and a line drive by Young. It's fair. Go, go, go. And Young is safe. There we go. But if you remember just a few years back, our pitchers might be able to get 10 Ks in our starting five, but we were striking out 15 to 20 times a game. So you have to be thankful that even though the management isn't the greatest, and the ownership and whatnot, and Dan Wilson, the manager, things are a hell of a lot better. We went 20 fucking years without making the playoffs with no fucking hope of even tasting the postseason. So, to go from that to where we're at now, 2022 to 2042, in that 20-year span moving forward, we should be able to make it 12, 13 times. We'll probably miss the playoffs 7 or 8. And out of those 13 times in 20 years, we hopefully will make a World Series or 2. We may not win it the first time we go, especially if we play the Dodgers, but we're in a good position, much better than we've been in this, team's history. And that's facts. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking high and away. And we got a nice little rally going here. Runners at first and second, Rayleigh at second, Young at first, and we got Colt Emerson here in the box. Let's see if Colt can end up hitting a home run or getting an RBI. 1-1 pitch, fouls that one off right in front of the catcher there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. And it's, up to the players to make adjustments. It's not like any of us could do anything that these guys are doing. To be a professional baseball player is one of the hardest things to do, let alone to be a good defender and a good hitter. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you got to think. It's not like you have people in baseball batting 700 and getting 7 hits out of 10 at-bats. You go 300 hitting 3 times out of 10, you're going to be a multimillionaire. But if you hit 2 times out of 10, you might be on the bench or barely on the team. You hit 1 time out of 10, you're in the minors or you're cut. You're not even playing. So, I mean, the distance between, being elite or not even having a job is, very, very close. Baseball is not easy. It's much harder to be a top tier, MLB or NHL player than it is to be on the NBA or NFL side. It's easier to play basketball and football than it is to play hockey and baseball. So, but there are things that could be done, if you watch tape and you end up making adjustments. And, a lot of players don't do those things. 1-2 pitch, pop behind the plate and foul. But the elite ones do. They put in more time in the batting cage. They watch film on the pitchers that they're going against. They make adjustments when things aren't going, the right way, like Naylor with the leg kick. And that kind of sprung him from being the bottom 2 hitter in baseball to being, much better now. So, it's up to the player to understand, that things need to be changed. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Colt. And that is 2 away. Next up is J.P. Crawford. That's more than just the Yankees. Tampa Bay Rays are good. The White Sox are good. Guardians are good. And then you got, obviously, the Mariners and the Athletics, Rangers, and Astros all kind of in the mix, and the American League. American League is not good this year, but again, it's anybody's, shot. Obviously, the Yankees are normally going to be the top team, going in and year out, based on the talent and the money that they spend. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the ones at the end of the day in the World Series. So 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Ciccone to Crawford. And then obviously we've seen how good, the Dodgers have been, and, the Brewers and the Braves and a lot of those teams in the Central. And then you even have a few other teams that have been really hot, like Miami, with the Marlins being one of the hottest teams here in June. So, again, it's a long, long season, and a lot of teams play 500 ball, before the All-Star break. And then, like the Mariners, we're one of those teams that really ramp it up after, the All-Star break, and I assume that's going to happen here this season as well. 2-1 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first by JP is foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Crawford. But the Yankees are very impressive, being able to win a lot of games without Aaron Judge. It really does show how, good that they've been this season with the depth that they have. I mean, Aaron Judge is, irreplaceable, but they're doing their best to be able to stack wins, and they've done a good job. Pitch fouled off there by JP. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Crawford. And that is strike 3 looking. JP can't believe it. We leave 2 stranded. That fucking stings. And Ciccone talking a little bit there as he walks off the field, trying to get his team ramped up. And again, not looking great, but again, once Ciccone exits, if we can get, a shaky righty or lefty in there, we can get right back in it. All it takes is a couple good swings and you're right back in the game. So far, we've been able to get a few guys on, but haven't been able to get that big hit to capitalize yet. We only have 2 hits so far. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Guardians in the bottom of the 5th. Next up, 0 for 1 center fielder, Petey Halpin. Batting second, 0 for 2 left fielder, Stephen Kwan. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, second baseman, Travis Bazana. I don't know. You got to also understand, we're not built the same way as like the Dodgers or the Yankees where they spend all this money, but one thing that we do have, besides Alex Rodriguez, we don't have a team of cheaters. We have some of the best players that have ever put on cleats in the game. We had Ichiro Suzuki, one of the best leadoff hitters of all time. Ken Griffey Jr., the purest, most beautiful swing, who never cheated or did steroids or PEDs. And we are very proud to have Ken Griffey Jr., as a Seattle Mariner, right? Edgar Martinez, one of the best DHs of all time. Randy Johnson, the big unit. Yeah, he might have started off with the Expos and then went to a couple other teams after us, but he played some of his best ball, with us before he ended up going to the Diamondbacks and then moved on from there. So, it's a nice thing to think that, we're the only team that hasn't made a World Series. But again, we've had some magic moments, in 95 and 97 and 2001 and 2022 last year. And, the best things are still to come, and again, we finally have built the squad that's good enough to be one of the top 3 teams in the American League, and again, it's just about staying healthy, making the right decisions, even though we don't really have, great options with Dipoto and Wilson at the moment. But, with that being said, with guys that we don't really feel comfortable with, we still have enough talent to win the American League, even with, leadership maybe not being the greatest, just based off the talent. We just need to be injury-free. Little flip back to Logan Gilbert, toe tap on the bag, and down goes Halpin. Great defense there by Naylor and Gilbert, and that is 1 away. But again, it's nice to be able to see the White Sox, being relevant with Munetaka Murakami before he ended up pulling his hammy. Any guy that comes from Japan and that can hit 20 home runs in the first half of the season, they haven't had anything like that. And that's made, guys better like Miguel Vargas and Colson Montgomery. They're relevant now. And, they used to be one of the worst teams in baseball, and they might make the playoffs this year. Guardians and Yankees have always been good the last few years, and the Rays are usually good every 3 to 4 years. And this seems like a good year for Tampa, and Seattle is definitely right in the mix. But again, so are the Rangers, the Athletics, and the Astros right behind us. But honestly, if we didn't have as many injuries this season, I think we would have probably a 4 to 7 game lead in the division, maybe even more. But, this is probably the most banged up we've ever been in 40 years. I've never seen a Mariner team that has had this many injuries in a first half of a season, let alone a full season. First pitch to Stephen Kwan, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Kwan. 1-1 pitch, popped up. Julio is there, and that is 2 away. And again, when we went on our 20-year drought, I still had a lot of fun watching, the King's Court with Felix Hernandez, watching Kyle Seager, watching Nelson Cruz, watching Raul Ibanez. I mean, there were still, things that were exciting, even though we weren't good enough, to make the playoffs. But now, I mean, if you look at the talent of this squad, I mean, if you would have told Mariner fans back then that if you just wait a few more years, you're going to have, like this all-star lineup of young and OG, vets on the team, people wouldn't believe it, but again, Julio and Cal, and now with Cole Young and Colt Emerson, a great pitching staff, a great bullpen, both top 6. We just got injuries. We just need Brendan Donovan to be healthy, and hopefully the bullpen will get better. Eventually we'll call up Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan, and you'll definitely see, that Cade Anderson is on that same level as Cole Young and Colt Emerson as a pitcher. And a little blooper that goes over Emerson's head, rolls to Randy, and Bazana having a good day today after struggling yesterday, and a single there for Bazana. Singles to left. 2 for 3 day with a run already for Travis, the Oregon State Beaver alum. But if you go back and look, at our history for the Mariners, there's going to be some years that we have an above 500 record, but most years, we're just at 500 or a game above or, a game below. It's like, usually that's where we're at. And then once we hit the All-Star break, things really start to really ramp up. And, if we can get Brandon Donovan back on July 7th and he doesn't have any more injuries the rest of the year, which is probably not likely, but if let's say it happens, that could really give us that jolt in the arm that we're looking for as a leadoff hitter and a little bit better of a defender at third than JP. Next up is Brian Rocchio. Line drive to third. And that is fair. Get it, Randy. Run, Randy. God damn, Randy is fucking terrible at ground balls, and he never throws lasers. He only throws lobs, and that scores a run. And, Randy, he might be the only all-star, that the Mariners have, but god damn, he's terrible at ground balls and left. Doesn't fucking hustle, is lazy as hell out there. Pop-ups, he's great. But think about how many runs get scored because Randy is just lazy, in left field, jogging to the ball. And then once he gets the ball, it's never a fucking laser. We need laser throws, not fucking lobs. Like, who's going to fucking tell him? It's just ridiculous, man. We would have had a laser throw in. We could have had another laser throw home, and maybe we get that runner at home sliding in there and we get him out. But if you just throw a fucking lob, the chance of the guy scoring is 100%. And now we're down 4-0. That shit is frustrating as hell with Randy, man. And again, we know Randy's good in the box more times than not, but again, there are a lot of things about his game that I do not like, Doesn't have the hustle or the athleticism, as like Robles or Julio, or Rayleigh, just nonchalant, like it doesn't fucking matter, What a liability out there. I mean, we have so many runs that have been scored. Singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into triples, and sometimes guys that normally would be stuck at third end up coming home, and that could have been prevented. Big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Manzardo. Velasco in the building. What's good? Sean in the building. What's good? One-two pitch, big swing and a miss. There we go. And that is out number 3. But now we're down 4-0, and we got to get to 1 sooner than later. Next up, 1 for 2, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 1 for 2, DHing in the 3-hole, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. And batting third, 0 for 2, left fielder Randy Arosarena. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Game's not over yet. And you disappeared after we ended up beating you yesterday. Come on, Jacob. If you're a Guardian fan, you got to be here when they're doing good and they're doing bad. Not only showing up and commenting when you have the lead. Come on, Jacob. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And we ended up getting the victory yesterday, so we'll see what happens here. You got a 4-0 lead, but that doesn't mean the game's over yet. End of the 5th inning, 4-0 Guardians. Gained another sub during the commercial break. 45 subs to go to 24,400. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. I don't see where we're at on the likes. We should be over 100 by now. And we're at 109, 91 to 200. You know, and Randy has been like that his whole career. You know, he might have been able to get away with that when he was an all-star for the Rays, when Luke Raley was there with him, you know. But again, I prefer guys, you know, like Luke Raley that hustle no matter what, you know. And I know base running has been terrible for the whole team, but, you know, again, more runs get scored when we have ground balls to Randy than any other type of situation in baseball for the Mariners. And again, when we can get pop-ups, it's great, you know, but every time a ground ball goes to him, you know, I cringe, you know, because I know a single will turn into a double will turn into a triple. And obviously, if you're at second base and it goes to Randy on a ground ball, you're probably scoring, you know, just because the effort in left is lazy, you know. And then once you get the ball, you know, you never throw a laser, you know. It's like, and that's on the coaching staff as well to call him out. You know, like, why are you being so fucking lazy in left field? You know, and I kind of feel he's got a little bit of that, you know, ego that, you know, he feels like he's on the Julio level. You're not, you know, you might end up being a good hitter and you've been great for us, you know, obviously hitting, but how many runs do you give up defensively? It kind of cancels itself out. And the sad thing is Randy might be our only all-star this year. 1-2 pitch, a little slow dribbler, throw to first, and Julio is out. And that is one away. Down goes Julio Rodriguez, you know, but I don't like players that aren't two-way players. You know, same thing goes, you know, in football and basketball. I like guys that put the effort out, you know, not only offensively, but defensively. Anybody can be a great offensive player. It takes heart and grit and guts to try to want to stop the opponent or to be able to, you know, minimize the damage, you know, as a player on defense. And you can definitely tell the players that care and the players that don't. Hell, Victor Robles sacrificed his whole fucking body last season, you know, going into the netting in the wall and was out for almost a whole year just trying to get a fucking fly ball. You know, you would never see Randy do that, you know, and that's kind of the difference, you know, for guys that really love the game and, you know, guys that are just collecting the paycheck. First pitch from Ciccone to Canzone, high and away, 1-0 count. But again, I'm not really a fan of Randy. I never really have been. You know, again, I do appreciate what he does in the box. And he is one of the better left fielders in the game. I get it, you know, but again, he'll never be a personal favorite of mine. I'll never buy his jersey, you know, I'll never buy cards of him. I'll never want to approach him for his autograph, you know, just a lazy ass player in left field, you know, and honestly, it'll be nice once we actually replace him and get someone better, you know, but again, we're not there at the moment, you know, but we'll see, you know, down the road in a few years, hopefully we get someone that can actually play, you know, some better defense. And I would rather have someone, you know, that hits 10 to 15 home runs, that's elite at defense, rather than getting someone that hits 20 to 30 that plays, you know, garbage defense like him on ground balls. You know, it's like, yeah, it's great to hit the home runs, but how many runs are you giving up for every ground ball that comes to you? It just evens out, or it's even in the negative. 1-2 pitch, little dribbler towards third and foul. Slider 83 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Canzone. But again, you know, as far as a hitter in the box, has been one of the best on the team. There's no doubt about that. And on pop-ups, Randy is great, but ground balls, cover your eyes. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ciccone to Canzone. And again, if Randy just had fucking some discipline, maybe it's still 3-0 rather than 4. Just maddening. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Dom. And that is 2 away. And speaking of 0 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Appreciate you, Lawrence. I mean, if Randy actually had effort, you know, on the defense and the hustle to first base, he would actually be like a top 20 player in baseball, or top 25. You know, offense, defense, you know, they'd be talking about him and Julio and, you know, all those things that they do out there. But, you know, I don't don't know. I don't know what his deal is, out there in left field. Seems like sometimes he's just daydreaming out there, thinking about what's for dinner, who he's going to hang out with after the game. It just seems like sometimes he's not even, mentally in the game, just kind of going through the motions. And he's too talented of a player to do that. It's one thing if you're like a backup, fine. But when you're an all-star caliber type of player, unacceptable. 1-1 pitch, low and away as it goes to the United backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ciccone to Orosarena. Jack in the building. What's good? Yeah, hopefully 2 more times for Dom. I'm not sure if I don't know if he can play it out there. Diving catch and missed. Yes. And Randy gets lucky and gets a single there after a diving attempt in right field is dropped. Yeah, I don't think Donovan's going to be in left field. Donovan is more of a second base, shortstop, third base kind of guy. I don't think Donnie can play left field. You got Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley and Victor Robles, obviously that can play outfield, so, if you have Luke Raley out there in left and then, Dominic Canzone at DH and Robles in right and, Julio in center, but again, obviously we know Victor isn't as good of a hitter as Randy. And again, playing left field is quite a bit different than playing right field, as well as playing center. So, center field and right field are pretty similar, but left field is a little bit different, and even though you may not have as many, baseballs come your way, in that particular area, it feels like some games it only goes there, into left field. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll see if they decide to put him out there. If he can play left field, but again, the thing is, as long as Randy's on the ball club, they're not going to replace him out there. They don't address, as long as Randy's on the team, he's playing left field unless he ends up getting injured, and then we can plug someone else in there. But they're not going to throw Donovan over Randy in left if Randy's healthy. They're going to stick Randy there, the organization wouldn't make that move unless, Randy ends up being hurt. Rebecca with a $5. She's starting the dono train. I appreciate you. Shout out to our female audience like Rebecca. And we're at 5:95 to go. Appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, July 7th. And, and honestly, I would rather have Donovan at third base, because again, you need to be able to have someone that can field those ground balls. And again, I'd rather have Donnie at third than left field, but, well, we will see, in the future on what the organization decides to do. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch to Naylor, little blooper into left, and that is out number 3. Another player that has no patience in the box lately, Josh Naylor. Come on. I'm sick and tired of the Mariner hitters swinging at the first pitch and popping up or grounding out. Just a wasted at bat. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0 Guardians. And the most runs that the Mariners can come back from is 5. So obviously we're getting pretty close to that, but we need to get off this donut, this 0. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run in an RBI, right fielder Khalil Watson. Batting second, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a K, DHing Cooper Ingle. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a K, third baseman Gabriel Arias. And also we haven't been bunting, and bunting is a big part of small ball, and obviously that's on Dan Wilson as well. You have to recognize your team and to be able to call out certain individuals, when they're not, making changes, in their approach. We gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 43 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 5 on the dono train because of Rebecca so far. 95 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 150. We're at 113, 87 to 200. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Spokane with a 50. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. First dono to the channel. Spokane Dude 1000 with a $50 holla. Thank you so much for your support and love to the channel. We're at 55 on the dono train. 45 to go. Shout out Rebecca and shout out Spokane in the building. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. Every dollar counts, you know, going towards the internet fee, the streaming fee, Mariners TV. Just those three things alone cost $175 a month for me to be able to do this dream for you guys month in and month out, and just, you know, being able to survive. And again, I appreciate you guys very, very much. Bottom of the sixth inning, nobody on with no outs, 4-0 Cleveland. Doesn't mean that we can't come back, but we definitely need to start a rally sooner than later after this inning. First pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-0 count. A bunt is dropped down, throw to first, and that is one away. Nobody practices bunting defense, and that's refreshing, you know, to be able to see at least somebody drop a bunt down. And sometimes you will be out with a bunt. Other times you'll get a single or a double. It's because the fielding is off, the throw to first is off, or maybe the first baseman drops the ball, you know. And again, you know, nobody practices bunting defense. You rarely see teams bunt on a regular basis, you know, and I would love to see the Mariners change that, but under Dan Wilson, that will never change. You know, he's just like Scott Service. They're just, you know, play it safe. You know, we put the lineup out there and hope they figure it out, you know, and that's not a way to manage a team if you want to be great. First pitch is fouled off there by Cooper Ingle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. Kind of fouls it off himself. Hopefully he's okay. No balls and 2 strikes to Cooper Ingle. Well, he just had an at-bat, so you're going to have to wait a few innings unless we end up going on a monster run. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off himself again. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Ingle. And he's already had 3 at-bats, so he's, you know, he may end up having 1 more, maybe 2, but it really just depends on what happens here moving forward. 0-2 pitch from Gilbert. Low and away. Four-seam fastball missing there by Logan. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Guardians. And let's see where Logan is at pitch count-wise. He's at 78. Saccone's at 83. You know, but again, if we were more patient in the box, Saccone would already be done. You know, and a lot of impatient batters lately. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Ingle, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert, getting another punch out. That's 5 on the day. He's at 80 pitches, 61 strikes. Only really had 1 bad inning. But again, we're in a 4-0 deficit. Next up in the 7-hole, third baseman Gabriel Arias. First pitch to Arias, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Shout out to Rebecca and Spokane. Appreciate the 2 of you. You guys are the MVP so far. Means a lot. 0-1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Arias. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0 Guardians. And again, 4-0 looks miserable. It looks terrible. But again, we've had a lot of comebacks. And a lot of times we play our best ball after the starting pitcher goes out. And, you know, we can bring hopefully our A game in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And it's not like we're going to get all 4 runs back in 1 single half inning. Has it happened before? Yeah. You know, but again, if we score 4 in a single inning, you would assume that's going to be at least a home run mixed in there. And you know, it's been pretty pretty slim pickings for the Mariners in the last 12, 13 games, getting 3 runs or less. So little dribbler up the middle. Throw to first, and that is out number 3. All right, we have a 3-inning sprint, and at least Ciccone is almost on his way out. He's at 83 pitches, so he'll pitch, you would assume, at least to a few batters, unless they decide to take him out early. And hopefully, the pitcher that comes in after Ciccone has a meltdown, and then we'll be able to come back. But we need to get on the board in this inning, at least get to 1 if possible. And just chip away at that point. Get to 4-1 and then 4-2, and eventually, hopefully, within a 2-run deficit by the 9th, and hopefully we can find a way to win this game 5-4. I know that's wishful thinking, but that's the way that you have to feel. All right, next up, 0 for 2 in the 6th hole. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Work the count. Stop swinging at the first 2 pitches. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a walk, right fielder Luke Raley. And batting third, 0 for 2, second baseman Cole Clutch Young, who's one of the best hitters in the 7th inning beyond, not just for the Mariners, but in baseball in general. Right, ends up. Let's go M's. Got to chip away. $43 subs to go, do 24,400. We're at 55 on the Dono train, 45 to go. Shout out to Rebecca in Spokane. And we're at 115 likes, 85 to 200. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, high and away, 1-0 count. Come on, Cal. 1-0 pitch, high and away. And usually the way the Mariners come back in a game is right before the starting pitcher exits. We rough him up for a run, or more. And then they bring in the next guy, and then we get another run or 2, and then we're right back in the game. So hopefully right before Ciccone exits here, we can, make him pay. And then the next guy that comes in, we make him pay. And then all of a sudden, if the score is 4-2 or 4-3, we're right back in business. But, we got to be able to get that first run. Pitch is low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Take the walk if it's there. We haven't seen Cal take a 3-0 count forever. And look at that. Cal taking 4 straight pitches. He finally learned. You're in the fucking 6th hole for a reason because you've been overly aggressive. And look at what happens when you actually don't fucking swing. You take 4 straight balls and now you're at first. And now that's much better than popping up or grounding out or striking out like you have been on and on again. Great job, Cal, finally. All right, now we got a runner at first, and it looks like Ciccone is done. And next up is Luke Raley. And hopefully Luke can get a single, double, or a home run, and we'll see what happens here. We got a pitching change. Holderman is coming in. Colin Holderman. Looking for a good photo there for Colin, but there isn't a good one. So Holderman is coming in. Ciccone is done. Don't forget Ciccone's final line. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 87 pitches, 55 strikes with a 4.18 ERA. And now we just got to hope that Colin Holderman will have a meltdown. And if we can end up getting a run or two on the board here, we're right back in the game. But we definitely have to get to a minimum of 1. But obviously getting to 2 or 3 would be obviously preferred if it was available. So that way we're only down 1 or 2 runs in the 8th of the night. Got to stay positive with this team. Being negative is never going to make anything better. And again, with the way that this team is built, with all the injuries that we've had, the poor base running, the errors, the poor managing, there's so many things that have gone sideways this year. And with that being said, we could be 10 or 15 games below 500 in last place and one of the worst teams in the American League. But guess what? We're not. So even with all the things that have gone bad, it's not as bad as people think. The whole American League fucking stinks. The Yankees and the Rays are good. You got the White Sox and the Guardians and the Mariners right there behind those 2 teams. And again, it could be a hell of a lot worse, even though things have gone sideways with the pitching and the bullpen and the hitting and the managing and the injuries. We have to be very thankful that we're still in first place, considering all the things that have happened to us this season. I mean, we've had more adversity in this season than any season that I can remember. I've been watching for like 40 fucking years. This is a crazy year, but we can still overcome. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking there to Luke Raley. 1 ball and 1 strike from Colin Holderman to Luke Raley. One pitch in there for a strike, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Colin Holderman to Luke Raley. One-two pitch, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Come on, Luke. You got to be better, my guy. And that is 1 away. All right, let's see if Cole Young and Colt Emerson can be heroes here. Wouldn't shock me. Next up in the 8-hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young on deck as part of the CNC factory. Colt Emerson, the phenom. Let's go. Get a rally started here. First pitch almost hits Cole, jumps out of the way, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Top of the 7th inning, 4-0 Guardians, runner at first with 1 out. Come on, Cole. On deck is Colt Emerson. Let's go, Young. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Colin Holderman to Cole Clutch Young. Lefty warming up in the pen for the Guardians. 1-1 pitch. Almost hits Cole again. It's a jump out of the way. Sweeper 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. And the more patient that we are going to be in the box, we're going to be able to come back. But if we're going to have a lot of aggressive swings, we won't. That's plain and simple. 2-1 pitch, a little slow dribbler up the middle. Going for the double play, throw to first, and no throw. Fielder's choice, Cal out at second. And that is 2 away. And we got to get a 2-out rally going here. All right, come on, Colt. Need a single, double, triple, or home run. And then on deck is J.P. Crawford. Colt can hit a home run here and get it to 4-2. We're right back in business. Come on, Colt. First pitch, high and away, curveball, 81 miles an hour by Colin Holderman, 1-0 count. And we got an early morning game tomorrow, around 10:30-ish, I believe. And we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to get the dub tomorrow, depending on what happens here today. One-0 pitch, high and away. Good patience here by Emerson. 2 balls and no strikes with a runner at first with 2 outs. 4-0 Cleveland. Just got to get to 1 or 2. And we'll be good to go, especially if they don't score anymore the rest of the game. 2-0 pitch. Good at bat here by Emerson. Takes another ball. All wide right off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes to Colt Emerson. Take the walk if it's there. If it's right down the middle, you can go for the fences. But if it's not, just take the walk. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Colt Emerson. Try dance up. Let's go, Ems. Come on, Colt. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Right down the middle. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. He's had 84 pitches, so we don't know yet. 3-2 pitch, high and inside. Great at bat there by Emerson, and another walk. Now we got Cole Young at second, Emerson at first, and we desperately need JP Crawford to hit a home run or an RBI here. And then on deck after JP would be Julio Rodriguez. But, we got the right 2 guys up, here, and if we can just find a way, let's see if they make another pitching change. Yep, and they're making a pitching change. So Holderman is done. That's a damn shame. We would want him to stay in the game, but here's another pitching change. And Sabrowski is coming in. All right, Eric Sabrowski coming in. All right, Eric Sabrowski, the lefty, is coming in. And hopefully he'll have a meltdown and we are able to come back in this game here. Be an amazing time for JP to hit a 3-run jack right here. All right, Eric Sabrowski on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. Let's get that Trident out. And on deck is Julio Rodriguez. This could be the turning point of the game. And tomorrow is Emerson Hancock versus Gavin Williams. 10:30 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Let's go, JP. Come on, JP. Single, double, triple, home run, walk, hit by pitch. I don't care. Just keep it going. First pitch into JP Crawford is a strike, 0-1 count. Eric Sabrowski on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, JP. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. JP even can force the walk, and then Julio comes up and gives us some magic. I mean, we're right back in the game, especially if Julio comes up big. 1-1 pitch. Foul back behind the plate. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Eric Sabrowski. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Come on, JP. 1-2 pitch. Popped up behind the plate again. Foul. Four-seam fastball, 4 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 4-0 Cleveland. Come on, M's. Gilbert looking a little defeated there on the bench next to Cal Raleigh. Not one of his best outings as of late. 1-2 pitch from Sabrowski. And JP pops it up. And luckily, it goes out of play. About 25 rows back. Come on, JP. Dig deep here. Single, double, triple, home run, hit by pitch, taking a walk, even though that would be tough at a 1-2 count. Not impossible, especially for a guy like JP, our most patient hitter on the team. 1-2 pitch. Foul back behind the plate again. He's grinding. Fastball up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second with 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 4-0 Guardians. But again, with 1 swing, we're right back in the game. Come on, JP. Eric Sabrowski on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Wow. 5 straight foul ball attempts here from Sabrowski to JP. Come on, Crawford. Grind it out. Four-seam slider, 4-seam curve in the last 4 pitches. Top of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on, Crawford. 1-2 pitch to JP. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but this is being challenged. And let's see if this is strike 3 for JP or if we can get the ball. And it is strike 3. Damn it. Right on the corner, and we leave 2 stranded. It's not our luck. And that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up in the 8-hole, catcher 0 for 2, Patrick Bailey. Batting second, 0 for 2 in the 9-hole, center fielder Petey Halpin. And batting third, 0 for 3, left fielder Stephen Kwan. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out. I assume Gilbert is done, even though he's only had 84 pitches, but we'll find out, and we'll see who comes in here for Seattle. $43 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 55 on the Dono train. 45 to go. Let's see how close we are to 200 likes. We got 160 in the room. And we're at 122. $78 to 200. It looks like they're going to keep Gilbert out there, I assume. I don't see a change in the stat page yet. So he's at 84 pitches. So maybe he'll pitch 1 batter and then they'll pull him. Or maybe they'll have him try to finish this whole 7th inning. But I don't know if that's really what we want. But and they may go to like our AAA options after Gilbert since we're down 4-0 and try to save Spire, Ferrer, and Bizzardo for tomorrow, you know, if the game ends up being a little closer. So we could end up, Halpy went to AAA, so we could end up seeing Simpson or Rucker or, Nick Davila. You know, I assume that would be the route that we're going. And then we'll save the better guys, Spire, Ferrer, and Bizzardo for tomorrow. Now, if we were able to get 2 or 3 runs in that last inning, then maybe they go for one of the better guys like Aspire, but I assume they're going to go with our AAA guys in the pen after Gilbert. First pitch from Gilbert to Bailey, takes a strike looking low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Bailey, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bailey. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gotta have faith, that blind faith that we're still gonna make a run and a little bit of a rally. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bailey. And they got Josh Simpson in the pen, who ended up swapping for Hoppy. So I had a feeling that they were going to go that route. They're not going to use Bizzardo, Spire, or Ferrer when we're down 4-0. Little dribbler towards first and foul. And we need to get to 5 runs at some point or another. It's been a long time since we hit 5. 1-2 pitch popped up there by Bailey. Julio and Randy are there. Julio with the catch, and that is 1 away. Cade Anderson as good as they come there in the minors. Nice job there by Julio. And if we had Cade Anderson in the pen, think about how many more games we would win. And we've never seen a player do what Cade is doing in the minors. And knowing the Mariner organization, we probably won't see Cade until the playoffs. They want him to keep developing. But man, he is just too good, to just keep there in AA. And again, they'll go AA and then they'll go AAA. And then eventually, Cade will be, you would assume, would be called up by at least when we're in the playoffs or towards the end of the year. But who knows? Maybe, the management team is stubborn and maybe we won't see him until next season, which would be a mistake. But, I hope we get to see Cade this season. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Halpin, especially with all the injuries that we have in the pen. I mean, no Carlos Vargas the whole year. We won't have Brash or Cooper Criswell until August. I know they want to be able to move him slowly, but, if we want to be able to make a run, Cade Anderson has to be a part of this team before the season is over. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, Cade is going to be good enough to be a starter sooner than later, but they'll start him in the pen, to get his career started with Seattle. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Petey Halpin, and that is 2 away. Next up, left fielder Steven Kwan. Yeah, I've never been to Ohio, so I haven't been able to see any of their stadiums out there. Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-0 Guardians. Gilbert on the mound, Steven Kwan in the box. First pitch takes a strike, looking high and away, 0-1 count. And again, 3 hits is not going to get the job done. We need to be much, much better. But again, that's kind of been the story for the Mariners in the last 11, 12, games. We've been getting 1 to 3 runs in those games, and a big lack of home runs. I mean, at one point we were top 3 in home runs with the Dodgers and Yankees, and now we're 10th. So obviously a lot of teams have been able to rack up homers, but in these last 12 games, we've barely hit any. And normally if we hit a home run, it's just a solo dinger and it's only 1. And sometimes that's good enough to win a game, but a lot of times it's not. But most of the home runs have been solo dingers or 2-run jacks. We haven't had a 3-run bomb, it feels like, in forever. And I don't assume that we're getting grand salamis often. Those are kind of far and few between. So, bottom of the 7th, nobody on with 2 outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Kwan. Come on, Logan, finish strong. 1-2 pitch to Kwan. Fouls that one off. Out of play towards third base. Splitter, 82 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Cleveland. Gilbert on the mound. Kwan in the box. 1-2 pitch. Pretty close there on the line, but doesn't get the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Kwan, and we haven't really challenged on the ABS too much today. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Pitches low and at the knees, low and away, splitter 84 miles an hour. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert Kwan. 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, right down the middle. Count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs. Got to get this last out. Come on, Gilbert. Go, Walter. 3-2 pitch from Gilbert. Hard hit ball by Kwan, fouled off again. He's grinding his at-bat here. He's 0 for 3 today. Trying not to go 0 for 4, but that's what we need him to do, especially when we're already down 4-0. And then we're going to have to try to get 2 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th and try to win 5-4 in extras, or try to end up winning 5-4 in regulation. But the only way that's going to happen is a meltdown by their bullpen, and then we get hot. And we were able to take advantage of the bullpen yesterday, but this is a little bit different of a story, being down 4-0 rather than being down 1-0 or 2-0 or hell, even 3-0 before Randy and his laziness in left field scored that other run. 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. I would rather be down 3 right now than 4. I mean, that extra run is huge, especially when you only have a couple innings left. Pitch fouled off again, high and away. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. Get his ass out here. Come on, Logan. 3-2 pitch. And strike 3 looking, finally. I mean, that took everything to get that last out. All right, Logan Gilbert's final line, 6.2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. So, no walks, 6 Ks, 102 pitches, 77 strikes, 3.43 ERA. 7 innings pitched with 7 Ks, no walks, 4 earned runs. You know, and that's tough. Hard to win that way. All right, we need a rally. Go to the top of the 8th. We got 2 innings to get 4 runs. Next up, 1 for 3. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. We could really use a big home run. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Same thing with him. And batting third, 1 for 3, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Got to make up for that laziness in left field. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning, down 4-0. 43 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 55 on the Dono train because of Spokane and Rebecca. 45 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes. See if we can get to 150 before the game ends. We're at 124. We can get 26 people to hit that like button. We'll be at 150. All right, Armstrong is coming in for Sabrowski. All right, Sean Armstrong coming in. First pitch from Armstrong, the former Mariner, to Julio, outside, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, low and away. A little bit of a meltdown here by Sean Armstrong. We'll take it. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Be patient, Julio. 2-0 pitch. Gets a strike right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Two-one pitch, big swing and a miss. Come on, Julio. 2-2 pitch, and Julio gets hit. Did it hit the bat or did it hit him? Looks like it got his hand. Hopefully Julio doesn't have a broken bone. The last thing that we need is Julio Rodriguez to be out. And Sean Armstrong, the former Mariner. And it's a hit by a pitch, but Julio is now leaning over in pain. I hope that he didn't break anything. Looks like it hits him right on the fingers, right on the knuckle. Jesus Christ, man. Sounded like it hit the bat, but though that was his hand. I hope his knuckle isn't broken or his finger isn't broken. The last thing that we need is Julio Rodriguez to be injured. Things have already been as tough could be. Looks like it does get a little piece of the bat as well. Let's take a look at the replay again on Supermo. Might have gotten him on the pinky and the bottom of the barrel. And Julio's trying to tough it out here. Yeah, I'm glad he's not exiting the game. All right, come on, Dom. If there was ever a time that we needed a 2-run jack by Dominic Canzone, it's now. And first pitch, line drive. And a nice base knock by Dominic Canzone. Here we go. Now we got runners at first and second with no outs. Here we go. Great job there by Julio Rodriguez, even though he got hit on the hand. Dominic Canzone getting a pitch right up the middle for a single. And next up is Randy Arozarena. And again, with one swing, the game could be 4-3, and we're right back in it. Randy is due for a home run, but just keep it going. If Randy actually had the capability to bunt, that would be great, but we need to get these runners at second and third. And now they're going to have a mound visit. Top of the 8th, we're down by 4, but we got runners at first and second. We just need a couple good swings here, and we could get it to 4-1 and 4-2. And if we're lucky enough to score 3 or 4 runs this inning, we can come back and win. We can win this game 5-4. As bad as things have looked, in these first 8 innings, we have a chance. Just got to be positive here. And I got Gaddis warming up, a righty in the pen, and hopefully he has a meltdown as well. And we just got to hope that Julio's hand isn't broken. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. Randy is so overdue for a home run. But again, we'll take anything. Single, double, hit by pitch, walk, anything. Keep the inning going. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Mariners. I still believe. We just got to chip away. The most that we usually can come back from and still win is 5 runs, and it's at 4. So we're almost at our limit here. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball. Deep center field. Back. Gone! Let's go! Randy Arozarena, 3-run jack. 4-3 Guardians. We're back in it, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, sir. Making up for that laziness in left field. I love it, baby. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's go. And just like that, for all the people that said, Orion, you're crazy. We're not coming back. We're down 4-0. Well, look at the scoreboard now. That's what happens when you have positivity, baby. Let's go. 4-3. We're right back in it with no outs in the 8th. Let's fucking go. And Naylor with a hit. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. You know, and that's why you always have to have faith in baseball. You know, again, it's so easy to be negative, especially with this team this year, with all the injuries and poor managing and shitty lineups and Rob Refsnyder and all this and that. You know, but again, all you need is a meltdown, you know, in 1/2 inning, you know, and even though we haven't been able to score past 3 runs, you know, and we haven't done a whole lot besides that inning right there. But again, getting a guy on first, getting a guy on second. Randy, overdue for a home run. I speak it into existence. The sports gods listen. Bang, we get the home run. And now we got another hit after that. Meltdown has started. And now we got a runner at first, Naylor with no outs. And just like that, after being down 4-0 for 8 innings, you know, I imagine there's Mariner fans that turn the TV off. They say, we're not coming back. And then, you know, later today, they'll flip on their phone and be like, oh, wow. 4-3, you know, but again, we're not done. And we have a very good chance of still coming back and winning this game. And these are the type of games, you know, that, you know, fair weather bandwagon Mariner fans, they don't end up watching to the very end. You know, they see the 4-0 score and just assume that the same thing is going to happen game in and game out if we're on a losing streak. But again, nice job there by Randy Arozarena, making up for his laziness in left field and getting a big 3-run jack to get us back in the game. Great fucking job. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and nothing would be better if we can get Cal to hit another home run, and all of a sudden we're at 5-4 and elite. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Beautiful. Top of the 8th inning, runner at first with no outs and another pitching change. All right, Hunter Gaddis is coming in. And if we come back and win this game, you know, this could give us momentum on potentially sweeping them tomorrow. Hunter Gaddis on the mound, Cal Raleigh in the box, Josh Naylor at first with no outs. And again, you know, we just have to hope that Julio isn't hurt, you know, after getting hit, you know, on the hand and the knuckle. But again, what a great game, you know, after having a relatively tough, you know, outing there for Logan Gilbert. And just like that, you know, 1/2 inning, it's the stuff that we preach every day, even though a lot of people, you know, don't want to listen. You know, it's not over till it's over, no matter how bad it looks. You know, again, it just takes 1/2 inning of a pitcher having a meltdown, and then you just finding a way to get a home run or, you know, getting back-to-back hits and finding a way to get some RBIs. And we finally get that 3-run jack that we have desperately missed. And from Randy Arozarena, out of all people. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One pitch. Cal pops it up. Should be a routine play here. Kwana's there, and that is 1 away. Next up, right fielder Luke Raley. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. First pitch is low and away, but hits the corner with the strike. 0-1 count. Come on, Luke. I wouldn't even mind Luke bunting, but again, he's got power in the bat, but he's just got to be able to connect here. And we know Cole Young is pretty clutch in the 7th inning and beyond. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes from Gaddis to Rayleigh. Come on, Luke. And imagine if Randy actually hustled in left field, the game would be tied 3-3. We wouldn't even be down 4-3, but we're back in it. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. I hope we can get that 4th run and we can tie this game up, and if we can get it to 4-4 or even 5-4, the chance of winning the game goes up dramatically. I mean, we can still win. We're only down a run, but if we can really put on the pressure here. Come on, Luke. Give us a nuke. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hunter Gaddis to Luke Rayleigh. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One-two pitch. And Rayleigh with a little blooper. And that is 2 away. All right, 2 out rallies. We've been good in the last month with 2 outs. Next up is Cole Young, who's been one of the most clutch hitters in baseball in the 7th inning and beyond. And if Cole can keep the inning alive, then we got Colt Emerson. Let's go. The CNC factory, the young guns, Young and Emerson. Let's go. Power code in the building. What's good? Let's get this dub so that way we have a chance for a sweep tomorrow with Hancock. Come on, Cole. Top of the 8th, runner at first with 2 outs. Young in the box, Emerson on deck. Let's go. First pitch by Young, crushes it, drop. Yes! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Young getting the hit. And a beautiful base knock there by Cole Young, my man. And again, if I end up getting a jersey of a Mariner, this would be the guy that I would get next. And after Young gets done, then this would be my next one after that. Colt Emerson, let's go. Young, the young gun does it. Let's see if the phenom Colt Emerson can keep this inning alive. Runners at first and second. Let's see if Emerson can get a single, double, triple home run or a walk. Let's go, Colt. First pitch to Colt, fouls it behind the plate. 0-1 count. Let's go, Emerson. Hunter Gaddis on the mound. Colt Emerson in the box. And we were down 4-0. A lot of teams that are down 4-0 in the 8th inning, it's fucking over. And let's be real. But again, we got a lot of grit and a lot of fight. We are one of the more talented teams roster-wise in baseball. Yeah, the record isn't great with the injuries and the poor managing, but I mean, if you're just looking at talent and just talent alone, the only team that has talent like us is the Yankees in the American League. That's how good we are, and that's how we're able to be in first place with a 500 record instead of being 15 games below 500 with the team that we have. Come on, Colt. 0-2 pitch to Emerson. Fouls that one off. Just gets a piece of that slider. Good job, Colt. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Emerson. I mean, we already are back in the game with Randy's 3-run jack. Thank God. But again, if we can end up tying it up or taking the lead, that could really be the difference between winning or not winning this game. Come on, Colt. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. And obviously, if he ends up hitting a 3-run jack, we're going to win the game. I mean, that's plain and simple. We would not lose this game if we end up going up 6-4. We would have the momentum at that point. Top of the 8th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Down 4-0, now it's 4-3 with a 3-run jack by Randy Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and just missed that one. Gaddis gets out of the inning, but not unscathed. And at least we ended up getting it to 4-3. Now we have to hope that they don't score any more. And we find a way to win this game 5-4, either in the 9th inning or in regulation or in extras. Wish Colt would have been able to get one more hit there for us to be able to maybe get it to 4-4. But again, when you're down 4-0 and you get 3, I mean, the chances of that happening is not very, good, but we did it. And now we just have to hope that we can still come back in the 9th inning. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Hell of a comeback. 43 subs to go. Do 24,400. We're at 55 on the dono train. 45 to go. Great job there by Randy Rosarena, who's been an all-star in the box all year. Great at pop-ups. Terrible at ground balls. But again, really came up clutch when we needed it the most. And we're at 136 likes. 14 more to 150. $64 to $200. Next up for the Guardians, 2 for 3 with 2 runs. Second baseman, the Oregon State Beaver alum, Travis Bazana. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Shortstop, Brian Rocchio. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks, first baseman Kyle Manzardo. And now, since we're only down a run, instead of just going with AAA guys, we might actually bring in one of our better bullpen options, considering the game could still be won at this point. We're only down a run. We're not down 4. And Jose Ferrer is coming in, and I think that is the right decision. Bring in a guy, that you have confidence in rather than just giving up on the game and waiting till tomorrow. This game could still be won. And let's hope that this is the good Jose, not the bad. But again, I know that they were planning on bringing in a AAA guy. And again, when we got the 3-run jack, they scrapped that, which is smart. And now let's see if Jose Ferrer can pitch the way that we know that he can pitch. And hopefully he ends up not giving up bases loaded and has a quick 1-2-3 inning. And if he's able to do that, we're going to have a chance to come back to either win in regulation 5-4 if we score 2 runs, or we get 1 run and it ends up being 4-4 and then we win 5-4 in 10, 11, or 12. First pitch from Ferrer, fouled off by Bazana. Splitter 81 miles an hour, high and away, 0-1 count. Got to have those positive vibes, baby. It's crazy to be negative, with this team and in life, but you got to be as positive as possible. Good vibes only, like Eugenio Suarez would say. That's why we love him, right? Wish that he was on the team for a lot of us, but sometimes, it's about that money and, an opportunity to be able to, go to a different team. But we all love Gino. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Sinker, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, 4-3 Guardians. Two-one pitch. Popped up. And foul out of play, thank God. Sinker at 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Guardians, and the Guardians were kicking our ass the whole game. We were down 4-0 until a couple minutes ago. And Julio got hit on the hand. We got a few individuals to come up big. Dominic Canzone getting a single after that. And then Randy Rosarena with a 3-run jack. And just like that, we're only down a run. 4-3 Guardians. Great job there by Randy. Pitch is low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Bazana. 3-2 pitch. Line drive to JP. Throw to first. Got him. Thank God. I was going to say, this is not the time for JP to have some shitty throw to Naylor and have that run end up being safe. Or that runner, be safe. Great job there by JP at third base. Traditional throw, no sidearm bullshit, and just in time as Bazana was really hustling. And that is 1 up and 1 down. That was clutch. Next up in the 3-hole, shortstop Brian Rocchio. On deck is Kyle Manzardo. And hopefully we'll be able to get these 2 batters out, and we can get a little bit of Mariner magic and that Soto mojo in the 9th. First pitch is fouled off by Rocchio, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big. Did he get a little tip on that? Looks like he did. No balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rocchio. This is exactly what we need right here. The Mariner Moose with that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic. Usually when we show it, good things happen. Let's go. Hell of a comeback after being down 4-0. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That's what I'm talking about. Jose Ferrer. And we definitely fleeced the Nationals by trading Harry Ford for him, even though we really did love Harry Ford as a prospect as being the backup catcher. But now we got Pareda and Garver, and more than likely, if they're smart, they'll let Garver go next year and have Pareda as the backup. But knowing the Mariners, they'll probably keep Garver again. I want to see Pareda and Mastrobuoni back on this roster. They're both in AAA. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. Great job by Ferrer so far. Little dribbler up the middle, right to Naylor. Toe tap on the bag, and that's exactly what we needed. We give up no hits, no runs, and now Smith is coming in, and hopefully we'll be able to rough him up here in the top of the ninth. All right, last chance here for the Mariners. And we got the 3 batters that we would want up in the situation. Leading off 0-4 with 2 Ks. Let's get on with a walk or a hit. J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 1-for-3 with a run. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 2-for-4 with a run and a K, DHing Dominic Canzone. And imagine this could have been Cal Raleigh. So this was a really smart decision on putting Dominic Canzone into the 3 and Cal in the 6. For this last at bat. Not to say that Cal couldn't come up big, but who do we trust more, Dom or Cal this year? And the answer is Dom, 100%. All right, Cade Smith is coming in. We got to hope Cade Smith has the biggest meltdown of meltdowns possible. We need a meltdown. All right, Cade Smith coming in here for the Guardians. And we got JP, Julio, and Dom. And again, honestly, they should have probably moved Dom into the 3-hole months ago. But better late than never. First in saves for Cade Smith, so this is definitely not going to be easy. Got more saves than even Mason Miller, believe it or not. First pitch to J.P. Crawford. Big swing and a miss, high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Mariners. Even if we only get one and we have to try to win 5-4 in extras, just find any way to tie this game up. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. TJ in the building. What's good? Right ends up. Let's go, Elms. Come on, JP. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And again, it's really rare where JP, swings 3 times and misses 3 times. But again, we are going against the individual that's got the most saves, there in baseball, Cade Smith. And that is 1 away. Can't have that happen with Julio and Dom. Got to find a way. Come on, Julio. And on deck is Dominic Canzone. That gives us a much better chance than if it was Julio and Cal. But we need Julio to get the job done here. Got hit on the hand on the last at-bat, and he's back in there. So at least we know his hand's not broken, thank God. And let's see if Julio can get on base or get a home run here. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Mike in the building, what's good? We need a Julio hit or home run and a Dom bomb if we can get one. And a 1-1 count. Yes! And Julio gets a base knock in center field. My man, let's go. That's what I'm talking about, giving us life. And Julio Rodriguez doing something that JP could not, get a fucking base hit. Here we go. And now it's up to Dominic Canzone to be able to see if we can get Julio home, unless Julio's able to steal a bag, but we don't want him to be overly aggressive and get thrown out at second. Let's go, Dominic Canzone. Great job by Julio Rodriguez. And the Mariner Moose is alive. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Throw to first, and Julio is safe. Let's go. Let's go. First pitch fouled off by Canzone, out of play. Splitter 88 miles an hour. No balls and one strike with a runner at first. Julio with one out. Top of the ninth, 4-3 Guardians. Let's go. Come on, Dom. Oh, one pitch, high and away. One ball and one strike from Cade Smith, to Dominic Canzone. You know, and having our two most patient hitters in the 1 and the 3 in JP and Dom is, obviously a good move. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and one strike from Smith to Canzone. And I definitely trust Dom more than Cal lately. Let's see if Dom can come up big with a single, double, or home run. 2 for 4 today. Let's go, Dom. 2-1 pitch. Dom, line drive. Just caught. And that is 2 away. And Julio has to scamper back to first. All right, here we go. Last but not least, we need Randy Arozarena to do what he did in his last at-bat. I know that's asking a lot, but again, if Randy hits a home run here, we more than likely win the game. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena, but even getting a single or double would be huge to keep the inning alive. Come on, Randy. And Randy gets hit. Oh, my God. You kidding me? Unbelievable luck. Wow. And Randy gets on. We'll take that. Huge. And now we need Josh Naylor not to necessarily swing at that first pitch unless it's right down the middle. Wow. And Cade Smith hitting Randy right on the elbow. Unbelievable for the guy that has the most saves in baseball. That does not happen. Next up is Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Don't swing at the first pitch and ground out or pop up, please. Unless the pitch is right down the middle and you can get a single, double, or home run. Come on, Naylor. Have patience in the box. And really, that's what it's going to come down to. If Naylor has patience in the box, we could win. You know, if he ends up being greedy and overly aggressive and, swings at the first pitch and pops up and grounds out, we're done. Come on, Naylor. Top of the ninth, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on, Josh. Let's go, Nails. First pitch, he doesn't swing, thank God. Pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Here we go. Let's go, Naylor. And remember, we were down 4-0 in the 8th inning. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball in left field, fading foul. 1 ball and 1 strike from Smith to Naylor. And we don't necessarily need Naylor to hit a home run to win this game. I mean, if he does, we will win. But if he can get an RBI and we can get it to 4-4, obviously that's huge. 1-1 pitch from Smith. And Naylor with a little blooper. Fuck. Oh, it dropped. Throw to first. They say he's out at first base, and I guess that's ball game. Can I get a replay? And I know Naylor kind of stumbled into first base there. Can I get a replay, though, at first? Just kind of an unlucky bounce there. Throw to first. Let's look at the replay. And it looks like they just got him right before the foot hit the bag. Oh, damn it. I mean, great effort. And it would have been nicer if we could have gotten that ball past the infield. But he ends up getting the out, and that is ball game. Final score, Guardians 4, Mariners 3. And, after looking at the replay, he was out. They showed it twice, so there's no challenge. Great comeback. Being down, 4-0 to get it to 4-3, and hopefully we can ride that momentum with Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow. Going into the game, now let's go over the stats. tough break, really, really close, to actually making that full comeback, but just came up a little short there, but great effort. A lot of teams would have lost 4-0, let's be honest. All right, let's go over the stat line here real quick. All right, Stephen Kwan, 0 for 4. Travis Bazana, 2 for 4 with 2 runs. He had a great game today. Brian Rocchio, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Kyle Manzardo, 1 for 4 with a run. Khalil Watson, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Cooper Ingle, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Gabriel Arias, 1 for 3. And then Patrick Bailey. All right, Patrick Bailey, it froze there on me. Patrick Bailey, 0 for 3. And then Petey Halpin, 0 for 3. And then let's go to the Mariners. All right, JP Crawford, 0 for 5. So maybe they need to figure out a different batter, tomorrow. Maybe having Cole Young lead off, or Colt Emerson. It wouldn't hurt. Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 4 with a run. Dominic Canzone, 2 for 5 with a run. I would definitely keep Dom in the 3-hole. Randy Arosarena, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a home run. Great job with a little bit of redemption after some lazy ground ball effort, getting that 3-run jack. Josh Naylor, 1 for 5. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 3, so it doesn't really matter where Cal is at the 3 or the 6, but I'd rather have Cal lower in the lineup than higher. Luke Raley, 0 for 3. Cole Young, 1 for 4, and Colt Emerson, 0 for 3. And if we're going to end up winning tomorrow, we cannot have Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley, and Colt Emerson all going 0 for 3 on top of Crawford going 0 for 5 at leadoff. We need those 4 players to get hits tomorrow. Otherwise, we will not win with Emerson Hancock on the mound. Final score, Guardians 4, Mariners 3. But again, we were down 4-0 and we got 3 runs in the 8th. So I'm really proud of the effort. And again, we just got to find a way to be a little bit better with JP Crawford, Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley, Colt Emerson, and obviously Logan Gilbert giving up 4 runs, was the difference. If he would have given up 2 or 3, maybe we win this game. But again, pitcher of the week was great, but ends up getting the loss. Ciccone gets the win, and Smith gets his 25th save, which is number 1 in MLB. So tough loss, but I do have confidence that we can end up winning the series tomorrow, and it's going to be early, 10:30 a.m. So eat breakfast with me, and let's get the victory and the series win tomorrow morning. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Rebecca for getting the dono trade started, as well as Spokane with the first dono to the channel and a big one, $50 holla. Shout out to the 2 of you. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Final score, Guardians 4, Mariners 3, and I will be live tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and Emerson Hancock will be on the mound. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys, and I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics, Tridents up, and as always, go Mariners.